Welcome folks, it's been a while since I updated with the game progress. So here we go. I'm now testing the new boss mechanics. So this is a very quick campaign mission where you have to fight for the Arcanites, but I've cheated and used the enemy faction I needed to test. So you're using the enemy ship in this mission. So these are you're using a Shivan ship, as you can see here. And I changed a few things. I changed the way ballistic works. Maybe I said that already. I implemented volume sliders. I refactored some of the code for most things. And as you can see here, the enemy shoots with a little bit of delay between shots because... Oh, I also redone the shaders for the water because Unity shaders for the water are just bad. You can only have 16 waters rendered at a time, and for some reason Unity struggles to understand what is visible and what is not. So what I did was create a plane and create a shader for the water, which is basically two gradient noises textures moving in opposite directions to create the basic water effect. Okay, there you go. And now we're gonna fight the enemy boss. So what I've done is that now every boss fight is static, so you don't follow the boss around the path. Like previously he had waypoints and you had to follow the boss. I have to fine-tune the distance between the boss and the player ship because it's very small right now. So I might have to say, okay player, go a little bit farther behind. So as you can see now the boss is shooting and I added spread to the weapons. As you can see the missiles are not all hitting you, while the lasers are very accurate. So it's very customizable. Now what I have to do now is go in here, pause. I also updated to Unity 6, which is whatever. And we now need to cheat a little bit. So what is the... Need to find the enemy boss, the Shivan boss. What I do for testing is I just lower the HP. I am too lazy to just, lower his HPs. There you go, ship. And we now lower the HPs because it's now on threshold. So you have to fight the boss. There are 4 phases, and each phase may spawn a random mechanic. So in this case, let's see what the game gives me. If it works. I don't think it works. No, actually it's working. So he's using the swarm missile, which supposedly it should technically shoot at you. But for some reason I cannot make it work properly. As you can see, it should shoot a barrage of missiles. But for some reason they do not properly target the player. I should probably say at the end of the initial inertia, I probably need to say lock onto the player position and shoot. There is also the return to base, so I don't know if I should... I also have to remake all the boss locations because now you're static, so I did this and created the Arcanite planet boss fight location. So if we go back to the space station, as you can see, I can maximize this. Alright, there is a campaign now that says the level of the campaign mission. There is the usual job board, and now we have the barracks where you have there's a little bit of a problem apparently. I think it's mostly to do with the window here, because it should disappear, but sometimes I have to look into this because this was definitely not a bug before I tested this. I just have to check it because it seems to me like there is a problem with the Unity events, but maybe it's because I upgraded to Unity 6 and I still need to fix a few things. But believe me, it used to work before Unity fucked up probably my project, but I don't know why I upgraded, but it is what it is. You can now upgrade your skills here. There's three classes and there are 3 trees each. So let me see what happens if I go directly into the space station and see. I think there's something definitely wrong with the handling of the Unity thing, because when you exit you should what is the scenes, the space station scene, there you go. So basically when you move out of the object, you should destroy the pop-up, but it seems like it's not getting the proper event. See, it seems like some of them get the proper event, like this one. See, it gets the proper event, but this one it doesn't for some reason, and there are no warnings. As you can see now, that there are some issues here that I think it's probably due to Unity sucking ass. But other than that, see, they're still there. It doesn't make any sense. Regardless, this is what I've been doing. The shop is now fully complete. Yeah, there are definitely some issues with Tech Smash Pro probably. And we can sell, we can buy. I'd like to make the name of the weapons take the color of the rarity. So let's say this is a white item. This text should be white. I'd love to do that. I will probably get around to refine. As you can see here, because it's too small you cannot see. This window, if you can see here, maybe we can zoom a little bit. You see, increase the global critical hit chance by 4%. So obviously I have to fine tune the properties. There may be, you know, items with a lot of properties, but this is the shop. I don't want to give powerful weapons in the shop because I want the player to loot them. Also, I'm speaking with a low voice because it's night and there are people in the house that do not understand my language. So it's a little bit cringe to speak in English. This is the thing. So this is the loot I got prior to reworking the item effects. So yeah, big thing, I reworked the stat effects. So now every item, see, there are problems. This issue was not here. See, I already went there. And that is this thing. I don't know. I updated to Unity 6 and it fucked me up, so I have to debug this shit. But what I've done basically, now even components here can give you buffs to weapons. But the problem is that weapons that buff damage, I made it so that there is global upgrades and weapons only buff themselves. So you can take a component that buff every weapon and you may get like 3 critical hit stats in a row if you're lucky, and it may actually get you close to cap. Now I have nothing against imbalanced things in a single player game, but it kind of breaks the idea of looting. So the global buffs are very small compared to the single buffs. So you can get like 3 critical hits from here with the low properties, 3 from the reactor, 3 from the shield, and they will not break all the weapons. So but they will buff all the weapons. In this case, as you can see, the heavy autocannon increased damage reduction by 1%. So this buff actually affects the armor plating here. If I want to mount this armor, say, and this heavy autocannon, basically it improves the armor reduction. It goes to 31%. While I have increased max power by 2%, increases the reaction power here, the reactor power, sorry. So I get more energy to use on weapons. That is efficient, we increase power regeneration by 14%. Now these are all the values, the base values shown here. So they're not modified, I have to work around that, but more or less you can do a lot of things here. I also like this skill system. As you can see, I have added tooltips here. I don't know what's going on here. Every skill basically doesn't do the on thing event. Whatever. I am to check the code to see if that's screwed up. I can put points in here. As you can see, 3 out of 3. Improved containment unit, increase overdrive duration by 1 second. This is the special ability of the class. You can focus on, in this character in particular, is a striker, so means he's got speed, he's got ballistic weapons, and the striker DNA buffs power, so he's very offensive and goes with cannons. That is a tank class that power-ups missiles and armor, and then there is the specialist, which is basically lasers and shields and power supply. But once you're locked into a class, you cannot change, so you have to start a new game. And this may be a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. We'll see about that. Still have to test things that, once things work, I had to rewrite the code for the hangar as it was not properly working when I changed weapons. So now if I go here, let's say I want to change the medium tri-way laser, I can put the scatter laser. Look at this, one of the two is gonna change. See, now it changes, it updates the visuals. I might have to zoom in a little bit more with the camera, move it a little bit closer to the ship so you can see the ship in its entirety. This is the firefighter, because I was testing and I got only to the point where I had unlocked the medium ship, and I took the firefighter. And I have a ferret which I assigned to the wingman, which is my old ship. I can assign to the wingman with the ferret, but I don't see the point because this one is stronger than the light ship. This stuff obviously has to be a little bit updated. Engine speed probably not linked to the data of the ship. I have to do that. But this is like the last thing, some refinement when everything is bug free, because I'm not one of those indie games that release in early access just to scam you out of your money. I'm gonna release full. Let's see if the options work actually. Yes, sound volume, music volume. Yes, it seems to be working. Alright, it saves. I can probably lower the volume here a little bit because it kills me every time I test. And then you go here, you click campaign, and you've got the missions. I still have to, because I've updated this recently, I still have to disable this one when you click on the button of the campaign, because I'm testing things. So this one has been recently added, so I need to add the, when you click, there is a way in Unity that when you click something, stuff happens. I need to simply deactivate these things and reactivate them when you're not here. So this is the quest, it's the campaign mission, it's gonna give you the briefing. This is the mission I'm doing while I'm testing. And I plan to add voices because I have people who wants to do this, but it's basically two girls and I need men for the manly voices. I will do it myself, but I hate my voice, so there's nothing I can do about that. Other than that, this is what I've been doing. It's a lot of code. So if we look here at the code, I had to rewrite the whole boss mechanic. This file is basically has been rewritten with the boss mechanics. These are the thresholds, as you can see. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's animations here. If we look at maybe the prefab for the, say, the Empire, for instance, we look at the animator somewhere. Where is the animator? Give me the animator. Game, give me the animator immediately. I need the animator now. Where is it? Here. So we go here. That is this one. We can go into animation and this one, please. Thank you very much. Laser animation, and oh yeah, I have to activate this thing because Unity is weird like that. And you can see it's gonna move. This is the animation. It's gonna make a like a pattern where you have to dodge the laser. Obviously, there is also the other laser, which is this one. So I need to click on the particle effect. There you go. I need to click that. That's the pattern of the boss. There is one for each faction. So in this case, it's lasers. In the case of the Federation, it's the electroflux. And in the case of the Shivans, is the flamethrower or the engine exhaust. Other than that, I've let's see, for the federations, the Federation boss fight, basically I've reworked it so that the mech biped here, which looks like a Mad Cat Mark II, but it's totally not. Thank you, Unity, for using the wrong camera. Basically, when you bring the mech down to a certain threshold, it spawns drones that rotate around the boss. And yeah, it's great. It's going well. I don't know if the game is fun, honestly, because here's the thing. I decided to go with the sequel to Spacefighter Rukia because I wanted to get into 3D, going from 2D sprites and animations. So this game seemed to be the easiest approach to 3D because it doesn't use human beings, and human beings are the most complicated thing you can draw, animate, and model because it's so subtle and No, there's a lot of performance issues. Like this one is not too much performance intensive, as you can probably guess. The hitbox is whatever it is. It doesn't need to move, it doesn't need to do anything, but I don't really like this genre. So I'm stuck. Personally, I don't like it. I know there are people that like it, but I don't like this type of genre. I'm too old. When I was a kid, I used to play Tyrion, I used to play R-Type, Thunder Force, um, Galaxy Force, and many others. Now I am too old. I prefer to relax with like um, you know, games where thinking games, so to speak. This is more like a Mech Warrior meet Diablo meet a shoot 'em up Star Fox, something like that. But this is what I've been doing. So aside from the rework, a lot of things have been reworked. I need to probably rework even more stuff, refactor the code. You have no idea the amount of work I had to do in the last 3 months with zero testing. Literally straight head on, do modification, and then test them later, which is a bad idea. But it is what it is. That's the level of like boring hatred I have towards the game, which is incredible. But speed has been going relatively well. I hope this game does get me the money for the Steam page back at the very least. Just not to be at a loss, aside from the time lost here, but definitely the next game I'm gonna go with maybe Project Tiva 2, first person, or maybe third person. I have to decide. I prefer a first person. I wanna bring a boomer shooter back, and Project Eva 2 is gonna be probably set in the city instead of the corporation. So you go around the city, you enter buildings, do stuff, and kill enemies and level up your character. And there's also a mega squad. But that is what I've been doing. So thank you for watching. Take care.